All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started here with this webinar. Again, this is Scott Carlberg. I'm Product Marketing Manager for Motion Products for Yaskawa. And along with me here, we have Jackie Wong, who's also one of our Product Marketing Managers. And we're just going to go through a few new products that we're launching today. These are the products that we're going to talk about today. As you guys are all aware, we did a pretty major product launch in early last year in 2016, where we launched all of the Sigma 7, the main products, the amplifiers and the rotary motors up through 15 kilowatts. And so now we're starting to launch some supplemental products to that main Sigma 7 launch. A couple weeks ago, we launched the Sigma 7 SIEC and a couple other products so there's a recorded webinar online that you can go take a look at if you weren't able to attend that webinar a couple weeks ago. But so this webinar is an extension, so we're launching a few more products now. So we're going to talk about the Sigma Logic 7 Compact, gear motors for Sigma 7, a new line of direct drive servo motors, and some special firmware on the amplifiers that we're going to go through here, and I'll explain all that to you. So first subject is the Sigma Logic 7 Compact, and I'm going to let Jackie Wong take over here to talk about this product.
Hey everyone, this is Jackie. Again, thanks for joining us. So the first product that I'm going to talk about is the Sigma Logic 7 Compact. Functionality-wise, is almost exactly the same as the original Sigma Logic. So in case someone who is not familiar with the original Sigma Logic, it is basically a servo pack that can be controlled by a Rockwell PLC. So what Yaskawa has done is we have written embedded code in MotionWorks IC. We've also written add-on instructions in the RX Logic's environment so that this amplifier can be controlled by a Rockwell PLC. So the Sigma Logic 7 Compact is exactly same with that functionality, but the key difference is unlike the original Sigma Logic, there's no option card. Everything is run internally. So overall, it's a much smaller package. One other key difference is looking at the Ethernet ports. Those two ports have an internal switch and actually shares the exact same IP address. This means that this Sigma Logic 7 Compact can be daisy chained, unlike the previous Sigma Logic. Another key difference is that this product now supports linear motors. Because there is no option card, there's no external encoder, and also again, because of no option card, the only I/O available for this product are the onboard I/O on the Sigma 7 itself. This means there's 7 digital input and 3 digital output. And just like the previous Sigma Logic, this product will be configured through the software Logic Works, and we will have version 2 of the Logic Works software. Nomenclature-wise, it's very similar to all the Sigma 7 product. The key difference is for the near the end, you'll see Q0 as a product code for the Sigma Logic 7 Compact, and the material number will end in F51. This information will be online and will be on the literature. This product pricing, list price, will be exactly same as the original Sigma Logic product. And that's pretty much it. The website should be available right now, and ordering will begin at the end of the week, and shipping of the product will start at the end of the month. And that's all the information I have for the Sigma Logic 7 Compact, and I'm going to pass the floor back to Scott for the other products.
Sounds good. Thanks, Jackie. So just moving on, talk about Sigma 7 gear motors. We've finished all of our internal testing with regard to these gear motors, and we've got the manufacturing or the assembly line is pretty much ready to go to start shipping these. So what we have here is we've basically extended the rotary motor product line to include planetary gearhead option that you can add to any of the 4 rotary motor types, which you can see here in the part number breakdown, the SGM7A, the 7J, the 7G, and the 7P motors. And then we have a 200 volt and a 400 volt offering. Right now the 400 volt offering is only up to 1 kilowatt, which is what we have released on the rotary motors right now. You can get these with or without a brake. There's 5 ratios that we've set up initially, which you can see here. These are the kind of the most popular ratios that we see. And then there are 7 different frame sizes of the gearheads that mate along with the different motor sizes. These gearheads are standard 5 arc minute backlash gearheads, so high performance planetary servo grade gearheads that we're pairing with the motors. So these are factory tested. So the performance data that we have listed in the catalog, which I'll show you here in the upcoming slides, those are all factory tested and guaranteed. The warranty of these packages is the standard Yaskawa warranty. So part of the value here is, we're taking responsibility for the whole gear motor assembly. We take responsibility for the combination performance data, and we assemble them here at the factory and ship them as an assembled unit. As far as the gearing technology goes, a lot of advantages that we're able to promote. The precision helical gearing just allows for a quieter, an audibly quieter and smoother motion coming out of the actuator, and because you're able to with the way the gearing's arranged, you're able to have more contact than a lot of other standard gearhead types. A lot of more contact between the teeth, which allows you to have more accuracy, more capacity. Another unique advantage of these gearheads is they have a bearing structure where they're supported on both sides of the pinion gear, which just reduces the amount of deflection that you can see in the gears. Again, giving you more force out of the gearhead, and also extending the life of the gearhead or of the gearing. So these gearheads have been optimized around the Yaskawa servo motors from the standpoint of the coupling that is internally attached to the motor shaft, and also the mounting flange. So a lot of, when you're just mixing and matching servo motors and gearheads, a lot of gearhead vendors will kind of try and hit a very wide range of motors that they're able to service with a given frame size. So a lot of times the coupling will be larger and the mounting flange will be larger to accommodate a wide range of motors. These have been pretty much optimized for our servo motor sizes. So the effective inertia that you're dealing with on the motor attached to the gearhead is going to be less. So you're going to be able to have a more dynamic system because of that reduced inertia. And also the gear motor is going to be physically smaller because of the reduction in size of the mounting flange. These gearheads are grease filled as opposed to oil filled, so there are no restrictions in which direction you mount these. You don't have to worry about if you're mounted in the wrong direction, that the oil kind of settles and you get more wear in a certain part of the mechanics in the gearhead. These are maintenance free. The grease doesn't have to be changed throughout the life of the gearhead. So both nice options. And then overall quality and performance. As I mentioned, these are 5 arc minutes or less backlash, and these gear motors are 100% factory tested. So when we get an order for a gear motor, we're going to assemble the gear head to the motor, and we're going to do a few different tests on the assembly line before we pack it up and ship it out to our customers. So just adding a little bit of value here. We've heard from a lot of customers that they really like this value that we're providing by the assembly and the testing, and we're reducing vendors for some of our customers to a single point of contact, which is also a nice selling point. The next product I want to talk about is our new series of direct drive motors, and these are called the SGM7F series. So they have an iron core design, which allows us to physically make these motors a lot smaller than what you're familiar with our previous generation product, the SGM-CS, and a lot smaller than most everything else that you'll see out in the industry. A lot more compact design. So you can see over here on the right, one of the popular direct drive motors in the market is the DDR from Cole Morgan, and these are exact same output torque and speed, and you can see the difference in size. So it's pretty dramatic difference. And actually, it's even more dramatic if you see these sitting side by side in person, or if you see the difference on a machine. So very attractive for customers that are using this type of technology. The motors have a built-in 24-bit absolute serial encoder, the same encoder type that's used on the standard rotary motors. You can get as far as the connectors or the cable exit, you can have connectors on the rear side of the motor, or you can have cables exiting on the side mount, or the side of the motor. And these are the same options that were available on the previous generation product. We're going to stock both of those types, both of those option types. On the previous generation product, only the rear mount connectors were the standard stock item. The other nice thing that we're doing with this product is we're actually assembling these in our Buffalo Grove manufacturing facility in Illinois. So we're going to be assembling all 4 frame sizes. The A frame, which is the smallest, the 100 millimeter, isn't quite ready to go. It's probably still a few months off. We're still kind of working through that design to finalize it. But the other 3 frame sizes are ready to go, and we're building those in Buffalo Grove right now. And you can look through the catalog data, which I'll show you at the end of the webinar here. But basically, these are the three frame sizes, and then the different continuous torque limits related to each of these. So the inherent advantages of direct drive motors, I'm sure a lot of you are already familiar with, but the idea is that you're eliminating mechanical compliance in your system, which in turn, so if you're eliminating gear heads, you're eliminating ball screws, belt drives, any kind of mechanical transmission that causes mechanical compliance and limits how responsive you can be with your servo. We're coupling these motors directly to the load, so as a result, you can crank up your gains in your servo, and you can get a lot more responsive system, and a lot of times a lot more accurate system. You're operating at a slower speed overall. Usually, these motors are in the range of 300 to 600 RPM at the output of the direct drive motor, but you're eliminating all of the gearing. And the mechanics in your system, so that's where your advantage comes in. These are, because there's very little compliance, you're able to handle a lot larger load inertias. So we've actually tested these, above 100 to 1 type load mismatches, and depending on what you're doing with the load, you can handle really large inertial loads, but it just gives you some more flexibility with this different product type in a lot of different applications. And again, so reducing the amount of mechanical complexity in your machine is most of the time going to reduce the overall cost of your machine. Definitely going to reduce the overall cost of maintaining your machine as mechanical parts wear, reduce the amount of failure points. As an OEM, it just reduces the amount of support that OEM is going to have to spend on different failures in the machine moving forward. So it's a really cool design. If you've never sold a direct drive motor or kind of specified it into an application, I'd recommend that you really look into this product. We have a couple of application notes, and I believe we have a product video as well that's up on our website. I linked to an article here that we recently posted in the last year or so that talks about one application where we design these in. So you can I'll send out this I'll make this presentation available after the webinar, and you guys can click onto that and take a look at that, and you can take a look at some of our other application notes on direct drive technology. So some other options that we're going to have on the amplifier, I'm going to go through. We have some special versions of the firmware that give you some additional functionality. One of them is this first one I'm going to talk about is the built-in indexer. So if you've been with Yaskawa for a long time, you probably recognize the option card that we've had on both the Sigma 2 products and the Sigma 5 products, which is the indexer card. And what that allows you to do is based on I/O, you can toggle through different index moves and dwell times. You can basically put together a simple indexing package for an application and initiate, the indexes through inputs or through serial signals. So what this product is we've put all of that functionality into the base amplifier without the use of having to have an extra option card. So you're able to set up the index table just like you were on the previous product. So you take just the standard inputs and outputs on the drive, and you can accomplish all these things: the index table, the zone output table, or the jog speed table. So this is a nice product if you just need something that's really simple, just a simple indexing, like I need to move something out and in, and you don't really want to program this on a full-blown motion controller. This is a nice product for that type of application. You configure everything through our standard configuration software, SigmaWin Plus. So you're going to set up your index table in SigmaWin Plus and initiate everything from there. This is available on our analog, the Sigma 7 analog servo packs, and it's an option. So you actually have to order. There's a F79 suffix at the end of the part number that you have to specify if you want this built-in indexer. And then the main difference between this built-in indexer firmware as opposed to the option card version, which we also sell, is that the built-in indexer doesn't allow you to communicate to it through serially. So if you want to if you want to send new positions, like from an HMI or from a PLC, if you want to constantly send new positions serially, you would have to revert back to the option card version of this. But other than that, this product is pretty nice package for just your typical simple indexing type application. The next option that we have for built-in firmware functionality adder is called the Max Track, and this is for applications. It was pretty much designed for kind of two-dimensional coordinated motion that you see in a typical shape cutting type application where you're cutting some type of two-dimensional material. For instance, plasma cutting, water jet cutting, laser cutting, those types of applications where you're trying to coordinate two axes. And what you're trying to do is stay as tight to the command signal as possible, or basically the positioning between those two axes as possible. And this function allows for a lot tighter position control than you see in the standard Sigma 7 drive, which is already very high. But for really aggressively high performance applications, this firmware can really help you come out with a better cut, better finish quality, that type of thing. Again, all the parameters for this specific firmware are configured with Sigma 1 Plus. These are available right now on analog servo pack amplifiers, soon to be released on Mechatronic, but right now available on analog. And again, at the end of the amplifier part number, you'll have a F19 at the end of the part number to designate this special functionality. And the third version of special firmware amplifier supports gear motor actuator that's has been developed and sold by Harmonic Drive. They make high precision harmonic gearing, and so what they've done, they've actually taken this motor gearhead actuator, and they have implemented the Yaskawa encoder protocol into their feedback device. And so what this custom firmware allows you to do is just plug right into this motor gearhead actuator, and the amplifier automatically recognizes this product just like it was a Yaskawa servo motor. So Yaskawa is not going to be reselling this gear motor product, but we are able to interface with it through this special firmware. Nice advantage of these Harmonic Drive packages are the compactness of the design. So very small and compact, much like our direct drive motors, but because of the gear ratios that they're able to hit with these really compact gear heads, you're able to get a lot higher torque output than you would from a traditional direct drive motor. So they can be a good fit in certain applications. So if you do have a customer that's using a through shaft gear motor like this, or if they're using this specific product from Harmonic Drives, that would be someone you might want to contact and talk about driving that axis as well as all these auxiliary axis that they're using on that machine. So again, there's a $200 list price adder for amplifiers with that functionality, and these are available on the EtherCAT servo packs right now. Again, that support on Mechatronic is coming in the very near future. So just briefly talk about a few of the sales tools that we've updated for all these products. So if you go on our website right now, I'll click over to the website. You'll see all these products are now on our website. So if you come over here to the motion products, let's see here, gear motors right up here on the top menu. So you can click in here and you can see all the details for the individual gear motor product lines. You'll see a link to an updated motion control brochure, and also a link to our technical supplement, which now has all of the gear motor data in them. You're also going to see all of the 3D drawings associated with these products are up on the website. So everything you need from a pre-sale standpoint is at your disposal. See some of the other products. The direct drive motors are also up here. If we come in here to the direct drive section, SGM7F, that's the new series. So you can get to, again, all of the information you're going to need to go out and start selling these are up on the website. The technical supplement has been updated. So if you download the new version of the technical supplement off of our website, you're going to see, if you go into the individual motor sections, you've got information here on the gear motors with the part number breakdown, and you've got, if we go a little bit further, got everything in here from from the specs and also the dimensions later on. So all this is up and ready for you guys to start looking at, so you can go out and sell this product. So I think that's about everything I wanted to talk about. Looks like we have a whole bunch of questions.
All right, hey, this is Jackie. So the first two questions are related to the Sigma Logic 7 Compact. The first question is, hey, no external encoder, what if I need it? If you need an external encoder, what I suggest is to go with the original Sigma Logic, which is the Sigma 5 version of the Sigma Logic product. And the second question was, it was not clear, can you daisy chain the product or not? The answer is yes. For the Sigma Logic 7 Compact, you can daisy chain the product.
Yeah, with the direct drive motors, the SGM7F, if you're replacing an older SGM CS type motor, you definitely will want to take a look at there is on some of the motors there is a little bit of an inertia rotor inertia difference. So make sure you keep that in mind when you're looking to size these. That's a good point by one of our listeners here. A couple questions on the harmonic drive actuators. Oh, well, there's one specific question about whether or not that's available in a washdown version. I'm not completely familiar with all the details on that product, but if you actually go to the harmonic drive website, you can kind of see all the different options on that. I don't believe there's a washdown version of it. But you can kind of look at all the different options for that SHA actuator on the harmonic drive, the website there. So there's a question about some of the special firmware that I talked about. So what we do is, logistically, we take a standard servo pack from stock, and when someone wants one of those additional functionality versions, we just flash the firmware at our Buffalo Grove facility and relabel it and ship it out as that new product. So there are not long lead times associated with those. The lead time will be based off of our standard stock of amplifiers here in the U.S., which is a good thing. There's a question about the gear motors, if we can provide those in different ratios than what I outlined here. So I would definitely welcome any opportunities for both special ratios or different gearhead technologies, like right angle or ones with a flange mount. There are a few different options that we could play with regard to doing special gear motor assemblies. The gearhead vendor that we've chosen to work with is a company called Shimpo. They own most of the market share in Japan for high grade servo rated planetary gearheads. There won't be any reference to Shimpo on our product, but just to let you guys know that is where the gearheads are coming from when we sell a gear motor solution. There's a question about, can an amplifier be sent back to the factory to be upgraded to one of the specialty firmware versions that I talked about? That's theoretically possible. Obviously, we haven't done any of that since we're just releasing the product right now. So I would say if you have a situation like that, talk to your field sales person and we can take a look at that. I think that's about all I wanted to talk about today. So again, I appreciate everybody's time, listening to this webinar. Take a look at our website, take a look at the new product literature. And if you have questions, you can contact me or you can contact your regional salesperson to kind of go over any questions that you have. But again, thank you, and that's it for today.
Thanks, everyone.